Guys, welcome back to the channel. I have an updated version of the Mono Science deck I showcased earlier in the week. So let's do a quick rundown. First up, we have the Linux kernel. On the play, if played next to any science card, your science cards, wherever they are, gain plus 15 power for 3 turns. Repeat for each album. And then on the return, if your deck only contains science cards, your cards, wherever they are, gain plus 10 power for 3 turns. Fairly solid card. Next up, we have Right Flyer, a fusion. On the play, if it's the first turn of a round, gain plus 5 energy this turn. Can come in handy. Next up, we have the limited legendary Leonardo da Vinci. On the play, your science cards in hand gain plus 26 power till played. And since we're playing all science, that's guaranteed. Next up, we have the Flying Scotsman, a limited legendary. On the play, for every round completed this game, gain plus 30 power this turn. And then on the return, this card costs plus 1 permanently. So we want to play this card as late as possible. Next up, we have Charles Lindbergh, a limited epic. On the draw, if you're losing the round, your cards in hand gain plus 35 power this turn. Fairly decent. Next up, we have the limited legendary Air Force One. Your awesome aviation cards cost minus 2 energy until played. And that's on the return. Not too needed this week, but still a solid card. Next up, we have Sonic Boom. So on the draw, your opponent's Brilliant Human Body and Superstructures cards cost plus 2 energy for 2 turns. Not really applicable this week. And then on the return, your awesome aviation cards, wherever they are, gain plus 8 permanently. Next up, we have Barnstorming, a limited legendary. So on the draw, your awesome aviation cards, wherever they are, gain plus 15 power until played. Very good. And then on the play, the card opposite this loses minus 50 this turn. Can come in handy. And lastly, on the return, your remaining awesome aviation cards in hand lose minus 5 permanently. A bit of a negative, but it doesn't always happen. Next up, we have the limited legendary Doppler effect. So on the draw, your science cards in hand gain plus 30 and cost minus 1 energy for 2 turns. Can help with the energy, but not too needed. But the plus 30 power is very, very good. Then on the return, your remaining science cards lose minus 15 permanently. That's quite a negative, but the positive outweighs it. Next up, we have a new addition to the deck, the Spirit of St. Louis. So on the play, all oceans and seas in both players' hand lose minus 15 power this turn. With all these sharks running around this week, this card has been doing a bit of work, so I'm happy with the choice. Next up, we have the this is a fusion ingredient, just an epic. On the play, if you're winning the round, this card gains plus 20 power. Simple effect, but still good. 7 for 70. Gets boosts from the rest of the deck. Decent card. Next up, we have the core card of the deck, Mecha. This one is a mythic and quite hard to get, so I hope you get lucky. So on the play, if your deck only has science cards, your science cards, wherever they are, gain plus 20 until played. Excellent effect. You couldn't ask for better. And then on the return, your science cards, wherever they are, cost plus 1 permanently. It's okay this week, but I could see it being a problem in other weeks. Next up, we have Monty Golfire Balloon. So on the return, your Right Flyer card costs minus 4 until played. And on the play, your Right Flyer card in hand gains 72 power this turn. So ideally, you want to be playing these two together. Next up, we have Siege Tower, a limited epic. So on the draw, your cards in hand gain plus 32 and cost plus 2 energy until played. Can't complain about that. Next up, we have the Fusion, Albert Einstein. On the draw, your science cards in hand gain 35 this turn. Solid card, works a lot of synergy with the deck, so we'll keep it. Next up, we have the Dark Web. So on the play, a limited legendary, of course. On the play, for each card in your opponent's deck with base power of 50 or more, up to a maximum of 4, your cards, wherever they are, with 50 or more base power, gain plus 4 permanently. That's nearly guaranteed to be plus 16 this week, and we run a lot of cards with 50 or more. Next up, we have the Jet Car. It's a limited legendary. On the play, your cards adjacent to this gain plus 80 power this turn, and on the return, you lose 40 power for 3 turns, which is a big downside, but this card can guarantee you a win on a round. And lastly, we have another new addition, the Mount Everest, a limited legendary. So, on the draw, if it's before round 3, turn 2, this card costs plus 1 energy until played. And if it's after round 3, turn 2, this card costs minus 1 until played. But the best effect is on the play, if it is round 3, turn 2, give this card and the cards adjacent to it plus 45 power permanently. It's a very, very strong effect. Let's take it into a game and see if we can win. This has gotten me up to rank 3. I've only lost maybe a handful of games, but that's due to bad luck mostly. So let's see if we can get a win today. Honestly, I'm quite happy with the deck. I still think there's room for improvement, but I'll keep trying and tweaking it and see if we can get some good results out of it. I would like to get to Division 1 with this deck, so let's try and make that happen. Looks like we have found an opponent. So we have the Curious Cuisine on the first round. So we drew the Mount Everest very early. That's not ideal. And the Charles Lindbergh. But I think we're okay. Strong turn from the opponent, but I think we'll be fine. Yeah. Since I want this card on the second turn of the third round, I think we'll play it in the last slot here. Then we will play Air Force One and Albert Einstein. It seems the opponent is playing a tiny deck. This may be a bot, as I don't think that deck will be very effective this week. So we will hold the Flying Scotsman until the first turn of the next round. It is unfortunate that we drew these two, and that is locked, but we'll take a risk and just play 2 cards. It seems to have paid off this time. And now we will get the boost that is plus 10 to every card in my deck for 3 turns. It would seem my card is still locked. I am not sure what the opponent has played, but I think we're safe enough to go for nearly anything. See, the opponent is using the rain. I hope I get lucky and it targets the Wright Flyer and not Jet Car. Oh, looks like I am out of luck. So we'll play Wright Flyer in the first slot, and hopefully we'll draw the combo pieces together next time. We will get Barnstorming around, and I will put Siege Tower around again. That is minus 50 to the opponent. A fairly strong turn, but ours is better. I think we can guarantee a win this round. We are 269 ahead, and we have massive boosts. So we'll set up for the next round by putting out Mecha and Dark Web. I will also send the Doppler effect around. I will hold the Spirit of St. Louis as it will get stronger and stronger. This is one of the few occasions where Dark Web is not effective, but as you can see, it does need to be, since the opponent's cards are just not strong enough to contend. Now we're going on to the final round. It is Oceans and Seas. And we have the Leonardo da Vinci. We'll get that around. The Albert Einstein. And we will throw out the Spirit of St. Louis as well. 5-13 from the opponent. Fairly strong, but we have the jet car in the back there. I believe it should unlock before the last round. And here we go with the Mount Everest, drawn when we need it. So we'll put that in the middle. We'll get the Linux kernel going and a Charles Lindbergh. So we'll be getting massive boosts from Mount Everest. So that's a 477. That will put us in the lead. And I believe Concorde will be coming around now. So that will be a very strong card. We'll get Concorde out. We'll get the Sonic Boom. And the Flying Dutchman. And hope for the win. And I think we have done it. So there you have it, folks. Very solid deck. We actually didn't get the optimal draws that time, but still more than enough power to deal with the opponent. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you did, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. If you have any suggestions to improve the deck, please let me know. And I hope to catch you next time. Bye everybody.